want to share this little story. It's a very famous Buddhist story, and it's the story of Decoy. He was Angulimala. Angulimala was a brilliant student. He used to excel in his education. He was loved by the teacher. Saying goes that when he was born, every weapon in their city, it started shining. And there was a constellation which was formed in the sky in the form of a dagger or something like that. And the minister whose son Angulimala was called by the king and asked that he observed some weird phenomenon and what it meant. The minister, who was aware of the fact that whenever this happens, a child who is born is supposed to be someone who kills a lot of people. He said that today my son is born, and if this omen is to be believed, he is supposed to kill a lot of people. And if you allow, I can unalive my son. The king says, I don't believe in these omens. Bring him up well, and if he's brought up well, then he will not learn those sanskaras of killing and all these things. That is what the minister did. Angulimala grew up, and as I said, he was a brilliant student. There was no one like him at all. Then one day, when teacher got to know from Angulimala's peers, and it was a lie, by the way, that Angulimala had some kind of relationship with his wife. And there are many versions to this story, but this is the version that I read in a book. And the teacher was anxious and angry. And in other versions, they say that Angulimala was trying to usurp the teacher's seat, become a better teacher. And his real name was Ahimsaka, by the way. It means the non-violent. Basically someone who promotes and is the proponent of non-violence. So the teacher, because of his jealousy or say fear, he said that in order to prove his worthiness, Ahimsaka has to do a certain thing. And the result will be that Ahimsaka will be able to get a psychic power or some kind of mantra which will be able to revive people. So what the teacher said is that Ahimsaka has to go around and bring 999, and in some stories they say 1000 fingers after unaliving that person. So once the person is unalived, he'll bring those fingers back and he will get this potion or this mantra which will help him heal people and revive them. So he thought that even if they get unalived, he'll be able to heal them and get them back to life. And given that he was such a good student, he decided to go ahead with it. But he was Ahimsaka. He was brought up as the most non-violent person to ever exist during that time. But since his teacher said this, he went ahead. He found first couple of encounters very difficult, but slowly he started becoming more and more violent. That violence, it started taking root in his heart. So as he unalived more people, he started collecting more and more fingers, and they would just wither away and the flesh will start smelling. So what he did was, he used to extract the bones out and let them dry in the sun, and he made a garland out of it. That is what he wore, which is why he's called Angulimala, finger and a garland. So he started wearing this, and villages of villages, they started fearing him. When he reached the 999th finger, there was nobody in that village, because everybody had already fled when they got to know that he was here. He was sitting on a branch of a tree, and the village that he came to after all these years, it was his own village. And his mother, who was Mantani, she came to know about it. But a mother is a mother. She told her husband that she knows that this demon is nobody else but her son. And without telling him, she went to the village to see her son, because it's been, a long time since she saw him. She went. He was there on the tree, but now he had been corrupted by that non-violence and hate and, all that so much that he did not really care that it was his mother. And Buddha, in his characteristic way, he just knew what was about to happen. And had that happened, he would have committed one of the biggest sins as per Buddhism, as per Hinduism, and maybe as per other religions as well, of unaliving one's parents. So Buddha manifested before Mantani did in that same forest, and he went ahead while this demon, he followed him from behind. But Buddha had a siddhi. He had a lot of siddhis, by the way, a lot of psychic powers and everything. Even if Angulimala tried his might, to run after Buddha, distance would still remain the same. And Angulimala, he was very tired. He shouted, "Stop!" That is when Buddha turned around and said, "I've stopped. It's you who needs to stop." And that particular thing changed Angulimala completely. It changed how he looked at the world. He knew what was happening. It's as if it awakened him. And here Buddha was not talking about stopping this chase or stopping, just the non-violence. Here it was stopping the ignorance, the anger, the hatred, malice, jealousy, all these negative emotions that had gripped him so bad. So he decided to become a disciple of Buddha. He became a brilliant, brilliant monk. Since the monks are supposed to sustain only on alms that they get from people, from householders, he, along with a lot of other monks, used to go around villages seeking alms. But since people knew that they had lost so many of their family members because of this particular demon, or let's say former demon, they did not give him any alms, and he would, remain hungry for days. They threw stones at him. Some tried to unalive him as well, but he did nothing. He gave no reaction at all. I hope I'm not getting boring, but there's a brilliant part that's coming after it. He stopped giving any kind of reaction. No reaction. It was not passivity, it was intentional inactivity. Passivity is, I think, cranker of the soul, and we don't need that in our lives. That's not why humans are here for. He was intentionally inactive because he knew that he had created all that karma, which is bringing upon that harm. But once he doesn't react, that karma does not turn into a loop. The loop breaks. So this not only frees the other person from creating even worse karma, but also you from hurting. This is how he became one of the most, the well-known monks. But one thing which most people don't talk about is that many years ago, many moons ago, before the Ahimsaka turned Angulimala, there was a huge sea turtle, a large sea turtle, and so many fishermen, they were stuck on one island once. 999 fishermen were stuck on an island. And this turtle, pardon my drawing, it just happened to pass from that island, across that island. And they pleaded to that turtle to carry them across. Since the turtle knew that his meat was so precious, that it would get them so much money, he said, "I can't help you with that because you'll unalive me." They said that they won't. Since the sea is choppy, they really need his help. They won't be able to reach their homes, and their wives and children they're suffering. So they need help. So this turtle, he agreed, and everybody got on his back. He just got them across. And as soon as they reached the shore, they started unaliving him because his meat would actually bring them a lot of money. They unalived him. He cried and he shouted and he said that, "You had promised me that you won't do this." But they did regardless. And only one child from that entire village did not eat that meat, who was his mother in next life. So this sea turtle was cut into different pieces, and they were distributed among 999 people, who were the people Angulimala unalived in his next incarnation. And Mantani, the child who did not eat this meat, was the one who turned to be his mother, the one who was left out by Angulimala. So I think this is one of the best stories which can explain the tenet of karma. So this is how our life kind of plays, For our soul, it's just like a movie, it's just playing. But we don't know what has happened maybe thousands of years ago when I was not I and you were not you, when we were not named. I hope this entire channeling, this entire reading was of some help to you. I am very, very thankful to her for coming through. I am very thankful to my guides for letting me speak my truth. And I'm very thankful to you if you are still here listening to it. Thank you. Thank you. I really hope it helped. Lastly, if you want to start this process today itself, for 40 days, do the Ho'oponopono prayer. It's a Hawaiian prayer and prayer of forgiveness. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. first to yourself and then maybe to others, situations, everything. So you can do that. I hope this is where we are done and this is where we say goodbye. Thank you.